Okay, so this is what we're talking about here. So I have the Starlink there, and it doesn't, this motorcycle cover doesn't seem to interrupt too much, but I'm gonna move some stuff around and see if I then can't attach the receiver hitch to this piece right here. And as I'm sitting there staring at it, I am not sure that that is going to work, but we're gonna give it a go, and if I need to go back to Lowe's, I can. So this is what we're thinking here. They're the receiver hitch. See if these go through. They do look long enough. So we're gonna see how this goes. Okay, so far so good. We're looking okay. Obviously it's not tight, but we're gonna get all 4 of those on. And then we have an L bracket, essentially for like a flagpole. And we have a Starlink adapter that is tapped into that. But for now, I think I'm feeling positive about it. Obviously, we will not be towing with this, like with this still attached, but while we're stationary, this should help even get a better signal boost. And yes, this is a little bit of a mess. Don't freak out, it's okay. But this is the rest of the gear for this. But I've got a few more tools in here. And you know, I'm not in my house anymore where I had a workshop, so we'll figure it out. Yep, so a couple of wrenches and we can get this tightened down. I mean, I'm like yanking on that. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Let's see what we got. For now, I took this off the spare hitch. This is the regular hitch that we have. I will probably oh, you know what? I have a locking one on the actual hitch that we use to pull the entire trailer itself. So let me go swap that out. But essentially, that lock pin is going to go right in here to help hold everything in place. And obviously, because it's locked, it's one that can lock. Then it'll help provide some additional security for that. So I think we got to do some problem solving. Let's see there, the 3rd piece. I'm not happy with the wobbly effect, and it doesn't quite go up high enough this way. I have the cord is long enough. So I think with the 75 feet, what I'm gonna end up doing is seeing if I can run it to the back and still have it in through the slide where it's located, just because that's kind of like tucked out of the way. Obviously, you don't move the slide and the cord's in the way. That's not my preference, but I can figure out something to keep the cord up off the ground and whatnot, but and I think those palm trees there are a little bit of an obstruction. Sorry, I'm gonna problem solve this for a second. Okay, oh, it's warm. So doing some problem solving here, and I think I have an alternative solution, and I can still use my bracket with this solution for the stability purposes. What I'm thinking though, okay, forgive the bird poo right there, but this like U-shaped bolt, if I can go find some of those, I can essentially then still put my bracket on here with my flagpole hitch, and it should still work. So just doing some problem solving. It will work back here where we put it, because obviously when it's on the ground right here, for some reason, like this view of the satellite, it works out really well. But when I put it up, I think it's catching the top of the travel trailer, and I just don't like the stability when I put in that 3rd piece. I'm not crazy about that. 2 pieces and it's pretty stable. When that 3rd piece and it's much smaller, I do not like that 3rd extension and just how wobbly it felt. So I'm gonna try to refrain from that, at least semi-permanently. In an overnight pinch, yeah, it'll work. Semi-permanently though, not permanently, but semi-permanently wanting to leave this up this way. But really, in the grand scheme of things, what I'm trying to do here is give myself options in terms of how I can mount Starlink in a relatively safe way. I just don't really want the cable on the ground. Thinking about people as they're doing the lawns and the mowing and the RV resort, I don't want to deal with it being on the ground, if at all possible. In this particular location, the internet, the streaming works out really well, so it's an easy fix for right now, but I think I'm gonna need some of those U-bolts. I think that's what I need. but it's warm. I need to go hydrate. Okay, so I went back to Lowe's and we're back with a familiar plan. I had some trouble finding U-bolts that would fit on the back without special ordering them. So I've come up with another alternative solution for the hot second, but I still really want to get Starlink off the ground. Let's see if we can't try to troubleshoot this. Okay, so the initial problem with the third piece that extends was that it was too small for this and wobbled around in here. Having said that, the adapter didn't fit in the smaller part of the extension. So I'm gonna try to, for like $2, I got this 6 foot long like tube insulator. I'm gonna try to keep it from rattling around in there. This is a short-term solution. I still will try to investigate the U-bolt to fit on the back properly. But if we're being honest, with the Starlink, not every location that you're ever going to pull into with your camper is going to be the best in terms of the overall coverage on top. Now, with that in mind, I want options in terms of where to be able to put this on the camper semi-permanently and up out of the way. I feel like they're not edging our grass here because I kind of have this here, and it's in a not so, it's good, but it's not perfect. It's not like the best spot for Starlink. So it's in a not so great spot because I don't really want it too close to the edge, but I still feel like they're not edging here at this particular RV park because Starlink is so close to it. I appreciate that they're edging a couple, they are edging a couple of the other lots around me. I appreciate they're looking out for the equipment, but I also just kind of want to find some alternative solutions, because let's say you're at a campground, you pull into a campground or an RV resort, and it has a little bit more tree coverage than what I have here. That's not unheard of by any means. I want a few different options as to where I can place Starlink, no matter where I'm at. So this is a quick solution here. It's semi-permanent. So we're going to continue to investigate and see if we can't problem solve. Sorry about the sun, not great angles. I'm squinting. Sorry about that. And it's really hot. Different shirt. Had to go back to Lowe's, trying to problem solve, different day. It's warm. Okay, so you can see what I mean here. There's just an excess amount of space. This screw doesn't do a bad job. Ultimately, what I think I would like to continue to think about doing is figuring out a way to essentially put a hole into this piece. There is already a hole here. Could I extend that to somehow on the opposite side here with some washers and whatnot to try to help alleviate it's not bad, it's just not as tight as I would like for it to be. But you know, we're continuing to problem solve, figure out the best possible solution for this particular location, as well as, again, give us some options for when we're towing the RV in the future. All right, there's our base, there's our pole, there's our Starlink. It is definitely up. The breeze was blowing earlier. Those were whipping around a bit. It was fairly stable, but I'm putting whatever faith I have, or whatever you could call whatever I have as faith, into that Starlink adapter. Oh boy.